Ladies and gentlemen, if we can have your attention, we would like to begin our ceremony.
Left fist.
Would everyone please stand for the presentation of the colors and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Present arms. Order, arms. Order, detail, face, forward, march. Detail, wall. Ready, face. Ready, step. Post. Colors. Detail. Step. Left. Face. Forward. March. Forward. March.
I would like to present to you the Vermont Department of Corrections Honor Guard. Will you all please take your seats?
Take seat.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 164th Vermont Correctional Academy class graduation. I want to thank you all for coming today and for showing the support for our graduates. I'd like to take a second and introduce our panel seated here on the stage at this time. We have our Rose Weber, our Director of the Office of Professional Standards and Compliance. We have Al Cormier, our Chief of Operations, Commissioner Jim Baker, and we have our Director of Facilities, Matt Knoll. I want to thank you all for being here. Today, the 164th Vermont Correctional Academy class is graduating after completing a 5-week comprehensive training program. On September 13th, these 14 graduates began their training at our academy. Over the last 5 weeks, they've progressed through their training, and they're prepared to return to their facilities and start their careers as correctional professionals. As they well know, and they've heard many times, today does not mark the end of their training. The skills that they've learned are just basic skills that they are going to need. The graduates will use their academy training as the foundation upon which they will continue to learn and build skills throughout their careers with the Department of Corrections. Today is an exciting day for our graduates. Today's graduation is an opportunity for them to have a formal ceremony welcoming our newest correctional officers to DOC. It's an opportunity to publicly recognize their achievement and their accomplishments. It's also an opportunity for family and friends to share in this. We are honored to have everyone here that was able to make it today. As you look around the auditorium, you'll see many staff from around our department. They're here to welcome our new staff, as well as the families, to the Vermont Department of Corrections. Graduation Day is an exciting day for DOC. It's a formal welcoming of our newest staff. We're a large organization, and every person that joins our team brings something unique with them. Our new staff will be presented with opportunities, and they will also bring new skills and talent into our team to make us a better department. Today's graduation is also an opportunity to recognize the extra work that goes into overcoming barriers that COVID-19 has presented all of us. The fact that you have all made it here today in person shows a tremendous amount of support for our newest employees. We should all feel a sense of pride that we've been able to maintain safe and secure operations at our facilities and around our department. Facilities have been able to hire new staff, and we've been able to give them the new training that they will need for their jobs. This is no small achievement. At each training academy, we have many instructors. They come to our academy, they teach our newest recruits. Each instructor brings knowledge and experience to our staff. I would like to thank all of the instructors who taught at the 164th Corrections Academy. Employees who dedicate themselves to becoming an instructor should be recognized for the additional expertise and efforts. The training they deliver is an important part of developing our new employees, and their dedication to the Vermont Department of Corrections is appreciated. I would also like to thank our facility superintendents and our district managers for making it possible for their employees to come to each academy to help in the development of our newest staff. The 14 correctional officers that are graduating here today have successfully completed 5 weeks of intense training. Over the course of their academy, they were challenged to learn to work together as a team. They focused on their training, they set their goals, they practiced holding themselves accountable. The 164th came together as a team very quickly. They worked as a team, they supported each other as they trained. The 164th should feel prepared to move forward and to take the next steps as they return to their facilities and start their careers. To the 164th, you should be proud of your accomplishment. You've experienced being immersed into a new environment with new coworkers to learn new skills. This is never easy. You did this with the additional challenges that COVID-19 has presented to all of us. We expect that you'll continue a high level of professionalism and dedication as you return to your facilities. Your choice to be part of the Vermont Department of Corrections is appreciated. Working in corrections will be a challenge, but the Vermont Department of Corrections will offer you a rewarding career with opportunity to advance, and you'll be able to make a difference. As a class, you chose integrity, accountability, and teamwork as your class values. Those values fit you well. You should remember these values. They will serve you well as you progress throughout your career. The Vermont Department of Corrections is a great place to work, and by graduating here, you've earned an opportunity to start your careers with a positive impact on your community. You'll have to work hard, You'll have to dedicate yourself to your job. You'll have to act with integrity, remember your values, and you're going to need to continue to learn. You should all feel a sense of pride and accomplishment on your graduation here today. The Vermont Corrections Academy values leadership, cooperation, and professionalism. In the spirit of recognizing outstanding performance, we would like to announce our 164th Vermont Correctional Academy Award recipients. Our first award is the Outstanding Leadership Award. This award is earned by the person who best demonstrates superior leadership qualities, who provides an outstanding service during their training, who conducts themselves with a high level of professionalism, integrity, and hard work. During their academy, each member of the 164th was challenged to take on leadership roles and responsibilities. The 164th was asked to select the member of their class who showed initiative and who best demonstrated these leadership qualities. The class voted, and the 164th Outstanding Leadership Award recipient is Alexander Olney from the Southern State Correctional Facility. Ms. Roman. Next, I would like to present our Academic Achievement Award. This award is earned by the individual that completes the training academy with the highest overall academic proficiency. The corrections officer who led the 164th in academic average and earned the class Valedictorian award completed the academy with an impressive 99.7 grade point average. The 164th class Valedictorian is Alexander Olney. The academy training connects classroom instruction and practice with actual experience. And part of the program is to experience that individuals can accomplish more when they come together and they work as a team. They practice holding themselves accountable, they experience serving in roles and responsibilities as they train and learn new skills. They work together, they struggle together, and they learn together. The 164th worked hard over the first 5 weeks, or their last 5 weeks rather, and they've experienced what it's like to build the sense of teamwork. The class was asked to choose the person who best provided excellent service, leadership throughout their training, but who could also best represent them and speak on their behalf. The 164th class speaker is Shane Land from the Chittenden Regional Correctional Facility. Congratulations.
I'd like to start by welcoming you to the 164th Vermont Department of Corrections Academy graduation ceremony, and by thanking you guys for your support. On Monday, September 13th, I made my way to the academy in Lyndonville, not knowing what to expect. I arrived and found myself to be one among 13 other new officers. As the days passed, we started to open up to one another and share our backgrounds. Time spent alone in our hotel turned into studying in the conference room together. As more time passed, we began having dinner with each other, utilizing the hotel's grill, until it caught fire. We started meeting up and using the enjoyments the hotel offered, like the pool table and the hot tub, which was especially nice after we perfected our armbar takedowns on each other. When you first come to the academy, you expect to learn the logistics of the job, how and when to write a DER, what all the 10 codes mean, but that isn't just the case. We started that Monday in September as complete strangers, but we stand here today as brothers and sisters, as one unit. And I believe that is a major learning objective of the academy. Knowing how to perform the duties of your job safely and efficiently is very important, but being able to trust the people behind you whenever 1033 is called to have your 6 is just as important. During the first week, we explored values in corrections with Mr. Fortier. As a class, we listed off several values we consider to be important to hold ourselves to throughout our careers as a corrections professional. After filling up the whiteboard and a unanimous vote, we were left with integrity, accountability, and teamwork. But out of all the values we wrote down, why did we choose these three, and why are these three especially important in this line of duty? You see, these three values really tie together as one, just as we have throughout this 5-week academy. So let's take a closer look at our first value, teamwork. From cell extractions to responding to another officer's call for assistance to simply moving a box. Teamwork isn't just about having the physical capacity to help each other, but about being present in the line of duty. This is where I believe the second part of the word comes into play. We must put in the work to be present to perform our duties safely and effectively. In doing so, we build a better us, a better them, a better community. Accountability. Accountability falls in a way larger category for us as correctional officers. For most jobs, being accountable just means showing up on time or showing up at all. While this also plays in our profession, though for us, if you're on time, you're late. In corrections, accountability also means being there for one another, even when a second can cost someone's life. Accountability means not second-guessing yourself or becoming complacent. Accountability means owning your mistakes and learning from them and growing from them. And lastly, the driving value of what we do is our integrity. Integrity, put simple, is holding yourself to a higher standard. You see, integrity really encompasses several values. It's about holding yourself accountable, being honest, and having a strong set of moral principles. In this corrections academy, we first had to learn how to walk before we were taught how to run. The first week, we quickly learned that setting our pins on the table meant something so much more than setting our pins on the table. We were taught that from now on it will be last names first, boots shined, uniforms pressed, and to have all materials assigned to us present. And if not, push-ups. I think I can speak for the rest of the class when I say returning to our facilities, we're going to be a lot stronger than what we were. But that's because of our integrity. Whether it was one person's mistake or multiple people, we all lined up, side by side, counting aloud as we pushed each other to the end. So now, as we part ways and go to our facilities, we must remember to hold on to these three core values and continue to grow and have new values that we hold throughout our careers in corrections. I stand up here today, proud to be a graduate of the 164th Vermont Department of Corrections Academy, proud to have graduated with the 13 individuals that I got to know. Each and every one of you have sacrificed so much already in order to stand here today. Each day you should walk into your facility with your head held high, proud of what you've accomplished, proud to wear that badge, and proud to know that you have the support of your fellows, brothers and sisters covering your six. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Land. Next, I would like to introduce this morning's guest speaker, Chief of Operations, Al Cormier.
Morning. Those are some big shoes to fill. That was a great speech. I think we might have, we shared notes as I listened to what you just said. That was great. Thank you. So as Jim Rice said, Al Cormier, Chief of Operations. 27 years ago, October of '94, I was sitting where you are, sitting in my graduation waiting, right? A little unsure, a little nervous, but also very excited to begin my journey with the Department of Corrections. That journey has pushed me, it's tested me, it's provided me with many excellent opportunities, and it's a journey that I wouldn't trade for anything. Because of that journey, it's an honor for me to stand here before you, hopefully offer some insight, some assurance, and say thank you for choosing the Vermont Department of Corrections for your own journey. I've witnessed much change and growth in my time with this department, but more impressive than the changes in the last 27 years and the advancement of corrections is the advancement of corrections in the last 50 years. I've seen a lot in 27 years, but if we go back to 50 years ago, September 9th, 2021 marked the 50th anniversary of the Attica prison riots. Anybody with any knowledge of corrections has surely heard of Attica. I had the privilege of visiting Attica 2 weeks ago with commissioners and other corrections executives from across the Northeast region. The history of Attica itself is impressive, but what's more impressive are the changes that occurred across the nation as a result of that fateful event. 11 staff lost their lives during that riot that lasted for 4 days. Several of those lives lost were at the hands of those sent in to help them. Corrections emergency response teams were created as a result of Attica. Something we take for granted didn't exist 50 years ago. The National Institute of Corrections was created because of the Attica riots to bring prison reform across all correctional agencies. Today, NIC provides technical assistance, training opportunities, both virtually and in person, as well as hundreds of webinars on their website that each of you will now have access to as correctional officers. Law libraries, hot food, even running water were non-existent in many prisons 50 years ago. As I walked through Attica, listening to the history of the riots and the profound impact they had on correctional agencies across this country, I could also sense the pride of staff, something that you just spoke of. They were proud of their facility, they were proud of their jobs, and they were proud of the impact they have every day. And I expect as you return, based on your team values, you'll have pride in your facility as well. Something that struck me at Attica, 2 years ago they hosted a TEDx event. That's right, a TED Talk in a prison. Never would I have thought I would have heard of that. They did it, and we were able to hear from some of the people that presented those TED Talks. Their stories were heartfelt and meaningful, and it just wasn't the staff, it was the incarcerated individuals as well. Many who had been inside for over 30 years. I'd encourage you to get onto YouTube and look these up. Look these up as the Attica TED Talks. Spend some time listening. What these people have to say, many lessons to be learned from their stories. I think for us, one of the best changes we've made over the years is our ability to take care of our own, specifically with our peer support team. We heard John Stockholm speak at dinner after we toured Attica. He was in his early 20s when he was taken hostage at Attica. 50 years later, he was still quite emotional telling the story. When he and others got out of the hospital and returned to work, he and the others met with the warden and the commissioner. They asked him if they were coming back to work, and if they were, they told him to never talk about that event again. And they didn't for several decades. I won't go into the details of the testimony and the legislative action that created a compensation fund for these hostages, but needless to say, they did not take care of their own. John Stockholm also told us that when he was a hostage, he was only paid for 16 hours a day during that 4-day standoff, because the warden figured he had to sleep at some point. He wasn't paying them for that. John and his best friend growing up, who was also taken hostage, have spoken at numerous events over the years, but the emotional damage and toll that occurred during that event and the response immediately after were quite evident. I pray that we never see an event of that magnitude, but I know if we do, the response will be vastly different. Our peer support team has been instrumental over the years, assisting fellow staff in a variety of areas, from trauma, stress, the loss of a loved one, a divorce, or just someone to talk to. Our department now has a clinician that works for us full-time. She does one-on-one counseling with our team. She does critical incident stress management debriefs after significant incidents. We're in a much different place as a department than we even were 10 years ago. And I know that each of you will continue to see change and much growth as you continue your career. And be assured you will be taken care of. You're not part of the family. With that said, this is not easy work. It's trying, it's stressful, it's difficult, but it's also extremely rewarding. You literally have the power to change someone's life. You've learned a lot in the last 5 weeks, and you will continue to learn each and every day throughout your career. The last 5 weeks have given you the basics of being a correctional officer. It's now time to put all that you've learned to work and continue to grow. You'll soon receive your certificates, take your oath, and when you leave here today, you will be correctional officers. You will be referred to as correctional officers every day. You will refer to yourself as correctional officers. In fact, when people introduce you to others, they will probably going to introduce you as correctional officers. Correctional officer is not just a title, it's what will define you from this day forward. But what is a correctional officer? Many of you sitting here today, new officers, family members alike, may have a vision from TV or the movies of a guard walking the tier, dragging their club across the bars, doing nothing more than turning keys. You're not guards, you're correctional officers. responsible for the safe, secure supervision of the incarcerated individuals under our care. Don't get me wrong, you will turn keys, you will supervise people, but you will also do much more. You will be the first to arrive at the scene of a medical emergency and start CPR. You'll try to stop the bleeding of somebody who has attempted to take their own life. This isn't being a guard, it's being a correctional officer. You respond to emergency situations in the rec yard and put yourself in harm's way to protect somebody from being assaulted further. This isn't just being a guard, it's being a corrections officer. You'll assist incarcerated individuals in making pro-social choices in their lives. You'll become adept at recognizing behavior and holding people accountable. You'll be threatened, your buttons will be pushed, you'll work overtime, you'll deal with the daily stresses of the job. The list is endless, and only a fraction of it will be turning keys, but all of it will be becoming a correctional officer. Which is exactly why we need to take care of our own, and the major reason for the creation of our peer support team. Don't bottle up the angst. Talk with someone, be an ear, get to know the staff in respective facilities that represent the peer support team. They're there to help, offer support in this difficult but extremely rewarding career. I say to you, the audience, be proud of these new officers. They have a tough road ahead of them, but they are sitting here because they have shown the willingness to learn, to grow, to sacrifice, and are willing to respond to our every crisis and situation. They are our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters, our moms and dads, husbands, wives, and partners. They are the 164th. And go back to your facilities, be the best correctional officer you can be, take advantage of the career opportunities that await you, and make the most of this career. You are the future. I know this graduation is about you, and I don't want to take away from that. But before I wrap up, and as we think about change, I want to thank Commissioner Jim Baker for his guidance and leadership of the Vermont Department of Corrections for the past 22 months. This will be Commissioner Baker's final Correctional Academy graduation as he moves on to the next steps of his own journey. Commissioner Baker has been a major mentor to me and many others across this department. He's been a steady hand at the helm of the DOC ship as we've made our way through COVID, staffing challenges, legislative action, and shifting our culture. During Commissioner Baker's time with us, we've seen much change, and we've become better as a result of it. Don't be afraid of the changes that will continue to come. Embrace them, learn from them, improve upon yourself as a result of those changes. Again, welcome to the DOC family. Thanks, and stay safe.
Thank you, Chief. Next, I would like to introduce our Commissioner, Jim Baker.
Thank you, Director Rice and Chief Cormier. Thank you for those kind words. I was just blessed to be in a spot, to be asked to step in to be the commissioner and lead a department that I've come to love and have a deep respect for. So thank you for those comments. I appreciate it. I want to welcome families first. I know that some families, because of COVID, had to make personal decisions not to be here, and we are videotaping it. So to those families that couldn't make it, to the families that are here, in my career in criminal justice and going to various ceremonies, there's nothing better than seeing families show up to support all of you. And I want to thank you for being here. And my fondest memories are seeing the children come here so proud of their parents, right? And I saw them again this morning, and I had a nice little chat with a young lady with a beautiful mask on. And I want to thank the families. We appreciate your support of your loved one who sits here as part of this graduation of the 164th Vermont Department of Corrections graduation class. And your support today is important, but it's going to be more important, as Chief Cormier described, as we move forward and all of these folks move forward in their career as corrections professionals. So thank you for being here. I want to thank Academy Director Jim Rice and the entire team at the Academy. We've put them under enormous stress over the last several months, hiring recruit classes and bringing them through the Academy and bringing them out to the field. to fill needed vacancies at the facilities. So Director Rice and your team, I want to thank you for that. But I also want to thank some of the instructors that are in the room today, and the other instructors that come around the state. You all got a real look at what we're all about when those instructors came into the classrooms, didn't you? You saw what we're about. You saw the dedication and the professionalism and the empathy of correctional professionals that came to share their time and their knowledge to make you better at what you're going to be doing as corrections officers, and I want to thank them for that. To the graduates, congratulations on a job well done. You may not look at this right now, but I hope you listen to what Chief Cormier talked about. I often find myself at the legislature, and I get really frustrated when I hear old-time legislators say something about the guards. And I will quickly correct them and tell them, these aren't security guards. These are corrections officers. There's a reason why we call you corrections officers. You stand in a void in people's lives at a time when they made decisions that found them in a place that any one of us could have been in at some point in time in our lives. You're standing in that gap to help them correct behavior that put them in a place that no one wants to be. And so, to you, congratulations on a job well done. The past 5 weeks are meant to challenge you. They're not meant to be just show up and have a couple classes and sit in that hot tub at night that we've talked about, right? Although I'm glad you got the benefit of what we do when we bring you into the organization and have that opportunity to bond at night back at the hotel. You were challenged during those 5 weeks. Today, I want to just make a couple comments about the department and what we do. We make a difference. I'm new to the department, and I'm coming to the end of my tenure as commissioner, 22 months. But I saw the department up close over the last 22 months as we fought off the evils of COVID, at the same time never losing the focus of what our jobs were, which were to protect and serve the citizens of Vermont, but more importantly, deal with a segment of the population that a lot of folks would just like to write off. But we don't do that. We support them, we provide them training, we provide them guidance. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And in those cases where it doesn't work, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't judge yourself by those few that we did make a difference in their lives, because we do make a difference in their lives. We make a difference because of the incredible staff. Many of them are here. Some of the instructors that you met over time. We make a difference because we have incredible human beings working for us. Professional, dedicated, empathetic. They work hard. They've worked even harder over the last 18 months because of COVID. And I couldn't be prouder to say that I'm the Commissioner of Corrections, at least for today, for a couple more weeks. But I couldn't be prouder. And I ask you to stand and recognize the people that are behind you and just give them an applause for a minute. If you'll stand up and just recognize them. God, I wish I had that touch when my kids were growing up. Stand up, sit down, never fall in my direction. So today you join the ranks of those dedicated corrections professionals that I spoke about, that you've met. And I want to, on a personal level, I met with all of you, right? We had some time together, and I got to understand a little bit of your stories. And what I want to leave you with is, in making a difference in people's lives, your story matters. What you bring to the Vermont Department of Corrections, your story in your life matters. And I encourage you to remember what your story is and how you got here, and what that plays into when it comes into dealing with the individuals that we have a moral and statutory obligation to protect. And so I wish you the best, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you. And I want to build on something that Director Rice said. Over the last couple classes that I've met, There's something about this class, and as the last few classes have come through, an energy that I didn't feel before. Don't know what it is, can't figure it out, but there was definitely a different energy in your class the day I met you. And it's going to be hard to keep that energy and keep that focus because, as Chief Cormier said, this is challenging work. Don't let it get you down. And I'll end up by saying the same thing I said to you the day we met, and I think it's the last thing I said to you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. It's your families. Your families are the ones that will be there for you. Your loved ones. They're going to be the ones that's going to listen to you after that tough day. And don't forget about peer support and the commitment that we made to our peer support team and our clinician who's there to help you. Because if you put those formulas together, you're going to have the career that Chief Cormier described. You'll be here 27 years later. So I want to end up by saying congratulations, best of luck, Godspeed, and thank you for choosing the Vermont Department of Corrections.
Thank you, Commissioner Baker. We would now like to present the 164th with their graduation certificates. This will be followed by the professional oath administered by Director of Facilities, Matt Dahl.
Roll one, attention. Right face.
If anyone would like to take photos or come up, our newest officers are going to receive their certificates, and they're going to go back to their seats, but you'll have an opportunity to take a photo if you'd like to come up closer. Mackenzie Birchie. Christopher Blanco. Ryan Demond. Erica Farron. Anthony Hardy.
Round two, attention. Right face.
Brandon Hartshorn. Dustin Labounty. Derek Lamont. Shane Land. Alexander Olney. Jeremus Onanuga. Luke Papke. Anthony Simos. Ranford Watson.
Attention.
Acknowledge this oath. Is the badge of my profession. As a symbol of the public trust in my ability and commitment. To provide for the public safety as a professional correctional officer. I agree to maintain the highest ethical standards. And serve the Vermont Department of Corrections to the best of my ability. I freely accept this responsibility. And swear to uphold the humanitarian and legal principles. Of the corrections profession throughout my career. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Director Dahl. Before we begin our class recessional, I would again like to thank you all for coming today and welcome you to stay after the conclusion of the ceremony for drinks and snacks in the lobby. They were provided by Superintendent Messier in the Chittenden Regional Correctional Facility. In closing, I want to again congratulate the 164th on your accomplishment today. Wish you all the best as you begin your careers with the Vermont Department of Corrections. Honored guests, if everyone would please stand, we would like to begin our class reception. The Vermont Department of Corrections Honor Guard will now retire the colors.
Detail. Ball. Right. Face. Ready. Step. Harry. Colors. Ready. Step. Left. Face. Forward. Mark.
Honored guests, it's my pleasure to announce the 164th Vermont Corrections Academy class. Thank you all for coming. We will be taking some photos up here as well, so if you want to get photos of your family,